You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, August 31st show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I am your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
You're a local mortgage experts. It's a great day to talk about money, and that's what the show is all about, how to make money, how to save money so you can have a better quality of life for you and your family. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we can connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, back by popular demand, we have Stephanie Kristen of Windermere Real Estate's top strategies for pricing your home. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming back in and spending time with us.
Yes, thanks so much for having me back.
Of course. And a little bit about Stephanie. Stephanie Kristen is managing broker for Kristen Team at Windermere Real Estate and has been successfully selling homes for over 3 decades. Working with her team of professionals, she utilizes her years of experience to streamline the process of buying and selling to produce successful results in raving fans. She is consistently honored by Seattle Magazine as 5-star Best in Client Satisfaction Real Estate Agent. Her passion for service goes beyond helping her clients, as she is a firm believer in giving back to her community and supports organizations that are dedicated to low-income housing solutions like Windermere Foundation and Plymouth Housing.
Yeah.
Stephanie, let's get right in it. Let's talk about home values right now. Kind of a popular subject, even in our field, because a lot of people are refinancing. They're like, what the heck's my home worth, you know?
Yeah.
So it is a very, very popular subject at this moment. How can homeowners know what their home is actually worth? Because we all know, I won't name names, you can't just go online and get an exact number. It just doesn't work. There's just not the algorithms to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that is an important differentiation. I think home value means different things to different people. You have your house assessed value that you can, find from King County tax assessor.
Yeah.
You have the value that, you paid for it and perhaps that you have put into the home. The emotional value, and then you have those, Zillow values or the online values. And what we really look at as real estate agents is, what the current market trends are, and that's going to be determined by a buyer. What a buyer, a ready, willing, and able buyer is willing to pay for a home in this market. So
yeah,
and it's not the online company's fault. There's just you need a human brain to calculate the market and your 3 decades of experience to be able to put all the pieces together to get a true value of what it would sell for at that moment possibly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then the online doesn't have they're not walking into the home. They can't see what's happening with upgrades and all the different things or the lack of.
That's right.
Correct, Stephanie?
Yeah, exactly. The websites are really just a great starting point. We have a feature on my website now called What's My Home Worth? And you can go in there. Yeah, it's actually, there's a lot of great information. It even will show you, how many buyers are looking in your neighborhood, what are they looking for in price range and bedroom. And so when you put your address in, if you're looking to see what your home is worth, it'll show you 3 different estimate. So it'll give you the Zillow estimate and I think e-appraisal. And there's another one. Yeah.
Nice.
But it really is just based on an algorithm, like you said. You have so many bedrooms, baths, square footage. It doesn't know the condition, the quality of your view. And so even if you look at the Zillow website, they even say this is just a starting point. We recommend talking to an agent to get the accurate information on your home.
Yeah, and also they don't know what's happening in that market, in that neighborhood, because the more the availability, the more homes that are available, the less you're going to be able to get for your home, whereas if there's less availability, there's more demand.
True.
So they don't have the dynamics of what's actually happening in that market as well, correct?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So how exactly do you determine a home's value as opposed to kind of these online resources? Yeah,
so I think a lot of it does take the human element. I mean, we are looking at the very starting point of the features of the home, looking at the list price and the sales price, days on market, but that's just the baseline. I think really when we go in and we look at what's happening in the market is we're talking to the agents, the ones that currently have active listings. We're talking to the pending sales and sold. So solds are going to be the ones that are actually the reality of the market. Those are the ones that are telling us what has sold, what was a buyer willing to pay for the property. Pending those are the properties that have a contract on them, but they haven't closed. And those, are the most current information. But again, you've got to talk to that agent and see, did they get multiple offers? What kind of interest and feedback were they getting from the current buyer market? And then actives, that's what is currently on the market. Those haven't sold. And so if you're trying to price your home off what's currently on the market, you certainly may miss the mark. And so we really work to set up a pricing strategy so that, we want to be positioned to be the best value and the one that sells next, comparing to those other active listings. So.
Yeah, and talking about actives, you have to be careful with that as well, because a lot of times people don't understand the appraisers can't use active as comping the property. So you have to consider, how's the appraiser going to determine that value? And it's not based on active, it's based on sales and ones that have actually closed. So let's talk, Stephanie, about the specific features that you were looking at when helping your sellers price their home.
Yeah. So you even mentioned the appraiser. When I have a property sell, I'll meet with an appraiser because location is more than just the city or the neighborhood. They're generally looking in a 1 mile radius, but what they may not understand and what might not show up in the actual listing data is, a house that's across the street or, they might be in a different school district. Different properties can be on an arterial, a busy street. Some have steep driveways, some are level, and all of that goes into, the value of a property and what buyers are looking for. The other thing is, then we're looking at the house itself. So there's a location and the house. In the house, we're looking at the basics like, the bedroom. But it's not only the bedroom count and the floor plan, the bedroom count and the square footage. It is the floor plan. Buyers are looking for specific layouts. A home that's a 3-bedroom but is 3 levels with 1 bedroom on every floor is going to have a different value than when you have 3 bedrooms on 1 level.
And a split level is not going to be a popular home for a good value.
Different floor plans, all of that really, it has an impact on the value. And knowing what buyers are looking for in the current market and where you can position yourself accordingly is important.
Stephanie, let's talk a little bit about the market right now. Are we still seeing multiple offers in the market at this point?
Actually, it's crazy. We are. I mean, it's interesting because, I've been in the business long enough to see, slow times where we've had, an excess of more than 6 months worth of inventory on the market. It feels like it's a slower market and things have slowed down, but really it is a seller's market. But the thing is, buyers are being picky. So I've been involved in multiple offers just recently with both buyers and sellers, and I think it really starts with pricing. And buyers, I think, are more willing to wait for that right property to come on the market. And so when it does, one that doesn't have the steep driveway or one that is, has the floor plan they're looking for and the condition, that's when you're seeing the multiple offers because everybody's been waiting for that, right one at the right price, to come on the market.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's talk a little bit about longevity in the industry. I know you're over your 3 decades. I'm almost a quarter of a century, and I'm proud to rock that and say that. And, with that comes a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience. And when it comes to pricing a home, this is where a majority of the agents are really missing the beat in a big way, and it's costing sellers a lot of money. So a common question that you hear is, should you list the price for higher to get, negotiating, or should you list it low to get those multiple offers? How do you strategize and educate your clients on how to price the home to maximize profit?
Yeah, that's really good question because I do think a lot of people think they need to leave room for those lowball offers or, room to negotiate. And really the data shows us that isn't the best way to do that. Today's home buyers are very well educated. They know the current market. They've got all the data online as well. Last month, we saw 47% of homes that were sold, they were at or above list price. So that's almost half of them that are selling at or above price or their list price. And those were selling for an average of 3% over the list price. then there was a third of the homes that were on the market, and they required a price reduction, which generally is like 3 to 5% price reduction. So you're seeing like, almost an 8% swing in, pricing it right, getting it sold, to, having to, have those buyers on the market that are saying, what's the matter with this one? Why hasn't it sold? And
majority of the time, it's not because
price.
it's a bad house. It's because it was a bad price.
Exactly.
And not the right representation.
Exactly. And those, I think, are the opportunities for buyers, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Stephanie, how do you feel about the funky pricing, like $599, $950, or like $698, or like $599, $999? You know what I mean? Just
exactly.
Like it just sounds better, right? The old sales adage. How do you feel about those?
Well, what I tell my clients is we're not Walmart. I mean, we're selling homes here. But even more importantly than that, I think, is the way search engines are set up online and the way buyers are able to look. They're generally $50,000 or $100,000 increments, so they can search. If you're looking for a house in the 500s, you're generally looking $400,000 to $600,000. Well, if you've got a price that is at $610,000, you're not going to see it. $599,000. When we price a house at $600,000, we're going to get two different buyer pools. We're going to get those people that are looking $400,000 to $600,000, but we're also getting the people that are searching, $600,000 to $800,000. So we call it bridge pricing, and it helps us to capture both buyer pools. So it's just a little strategy to.
Yeah, it sounds like there's no advantage, just how the algorithms work in pricing. There's just no advantage to do that. And I'm actually shocked that psychology still works. It's like the oldest book in the trade. Like, no, let's put the candy bar for 99 cents.
And
we'll
buyers,
sell way more.
Yeah, right. And buyers aren't stupid. They know these things.
Right?
They'll say it's $600.
Of course.
It's $1, dude. Let's be...
So, Stephanie, price, it's a common thing to ask when's the best time to sell. And obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into that. I mean, in every market, you're short something. You're either short sellers, you're short buyers, or you're short money. We're definitely not short money. Look at the interest rates.
Right.
Plenty of financing. We're not back after the financial meltdown where nobody's lending anymore. And we're not short buyers. We're still short on the seller side. So in this environment, when is the best time to sell?
Yeah, I've always told my clients, you can't try to time the market. I mean, just like the stock market. I mean, you have to do what works best for you. I mean, this is an investment that you live in, so it's a big part of your life. Historically, we have seen, the market kind of start off slow, ramp up, February, March, and have a good, strong spring market until about April, May, June. Things have slowed down historically over the summer and ramp up again in the fall. This year was different. I mean, we had all that snow in the beginning of the year, so really our market got a slower start, and we had a strong summer season this year. So, so I think, it's just every year is a bit different. I think you have to work with a professional to know what works best for you and strategize accordingly.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Stephanie, you are fantastic at what you do.
Yes,
and
she
is. And we've given a lot of good tidbits here. I'm really curious, what are your top strategies for getting the most for your home? What can you share with our listeners? Sure.
So I do think it's a we were talking tripods earlier. It's a three-legged strategy. Prepare.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I am a tripod. There's no way around it.
Preparing, pricing, and promoting. So preparing is going to be just getting your place ready. Decluttering is the highest return on investment. It's free, and you got to pack it all up anyways. Pricing, working with your agent to, properly position yourself in the market, and then doing the best to promote it with, beautiful, professional, high-quality photos, and getting it in front of as many buyer eyeballs as possible. So, yeah.
Great tip. Stephanie, thank you so much again for coming in and joining us and sharing your expertise with our listeners.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys both.
You're welcome. Coming up next on the Money Hour, detangling your digital office. Nicole Lux-Ritchie of Luxcentric, right here at 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.